Hi, welcome to our latest Vinyasa flow class. So for today's class, we are going to be working on the hips. So you may need a couple of bricks or blocks for some of the poses, but other than that, it's a pretty straightforward class, so you shouldn't really need any other props. Okay, I'm going to begin seated. So bringing yourself down to the mat, and we're going to come into Baddha Konasana position just to start grounding ourselves for a few moments. So I'd like you to take the soles of the feet together and allow the knees to drop open. Taking hold of the feet, sitting tall through the spine, and just allow a gentle forward fold. So coming into your forward fold, you might find that your elbows touch your legs and almost push the knees apart. You can close off the eyes and just relax into this position. So trying to ensure that your glutes and your quads and the adductor muscles that run down the inside of the thighs don't grip whilst in this pose. So just relaxing everything that we've got. Just to allow this gentle opening in the groin area and in the hips. Taking an inhale breath and lifting ever so slightly. And then as we exhale, you're going to loosen the grip off the feet and just bring the hands down to the earth in front of you. So we're still relaxing into this position. The legs are still opening. We're going to relax all of those deep hip muscles and the glutes. But we're just taking that bend slightly further and relaxing deeper into it. So holding onto the feet encourages a slightly tenser position, I suppose. But bringing your hands down to the earth in front of you and just grounding for a few breaths just allows us to arrive in this space, arrive on the mat. Walking your hands back up to seated, taking hold of the knees and just lifting them up through center and just giving your knees a little hug here. So you can take hold of the upper arms, opposite upper arms, and just bring the head down to the knees and just pull back so you get this nice stretch in the upper back. And then making your way over onto all fours. So with our all four position, we usually take a stacked variation where we have shoulders above the wrists, hips directly above the knees. What I want you to do is come into that position and then just step the knees ever so slightly further back. So you're not in a classic box position. From here, I'd like you to push back and come into a kind of narrower legged version of child's pose, and then we're going to, on the inhale breath, travel along the mat, head lifts followed by the chest, inhale, and you're coming into this kind of extended cobra position. So we're going to continue our rolls like that to warm up our spine today. So exhale, taking it back to that child's pose. Inhale as we travel along the mat, head lifts followed by the chest. Exhale, rolling back. Inhale. travelling along the mat. Exhale, just taking it back. Inhale, travelling along, head lifts, followed by the chest. And then exhale, taking it back. And we're just going to hang here in our child's pose for a moment. Tripod the hands, just extend through the hands, just give a little stretch through the upper body. And then coming back up into that box position. So stepping the knees in ever so slightly, just so that we can come back to the traditional box position. So I'd like you to float your left foot out behind you, place the toes at the bottom of the mat, and then rotate your right foot out to the side. We're going to roll onto our right hand and extend the left hand all the way to the front of the room. So your left toes are extending all the way to the bottom of the mat, left hand extending all the way to the front of the room. And I'd like you to focus on your breath, so taking some slow, deep inhales, lengthened exhales, and directing that inhale breath to the left rib cage. So noticing the rib cage expanding and deepening that stretch all the way down the left side with every inhale breath. Your next inhale breath, floating that left foot off the mat, extending it and reaching it all the way to the back of the room. Left fingers reaching all the way to the front of the room. And then we're going to tuck the knee towards the elbow, so drawing the left knee to the left elbow. Take your gaze around to the right hand, and we're going to pivot round on that right knee and place your left foot at the top of the mat. So coming into a low lunge position. So with our low lunge, I'd like you to place your hands on the front knee, and we're going to sink nice and deep into this low lunge. So we're taking our runner's lunge. Just relax the upper body, relax the shoulders. Bringing the hands down to the mat. We're going to shift the hips back towards the right foot. Left toes point up towards the ceiling. Take a forward fold. So your left leg is as straight as you possibly can take it. Those of you with tight hamstrings may find that there's a little bit of a micro bend to that left knee. And that's fine. So this is our half split. We're just going to begin a little pulse here. So we're going to inhale, rock forward, sweep the hands up for runner's lunge, and then exhale, rock it back. Now, option for you here to place your hands on the mat, but if you want to do, you can keep the hands and extend them behind you. So inhale, rock forward, exhale, take it back. Inhale, rocking forward, exhale, sweep it back. Final time, inhale, rocking forward, exhale, taking it back. Bring the hands down to the mat, walking them to the top of the mat, framing the left foot. Curl under the back toes, lift the back knee, and heel toe the left foot to the outside edge of the mat. So coming into lizard. So drop down the back knee, uncurl the toes, and come into lizard as deep as you want to do today. So you may find that you normally can get into these positions quite easily, and today it might just not work for you, and that's fine. Don't let your ego get in the way. So if you want to stay on your hands, that's absolutely fine. If you want to come down to forearms, you can. If you want to use a couple of bricks or blocks, please feel free to do so, and just rock gently from left to right. So we're starting to feel that opening in the hip and the groin area. Coming back up onto the hands now. Curl under the back toes, lift the back knee, step the left foot back to meet the right, and take your first downward dog of the practice. So you can begin to paddle out through the heels and ankles. Turn the tailbone up towards the ceiling. And just draw the belly button back to the spine, broaden through the collarbones. Just lengthening all the way through the backs of the legs. Then finding your stillness. Take a deep inhale, come up high on the toes, push the chest back towards the thighs. Exhale, lower the heels back down. Inhale, come up high on the toes, push the chest back towards the thighs, and then exhale, lowering the heels back down. Rocking forward onto the knees, coming into that box position once again. So extending the right foot out behind us, placing the right toes at the bottom of the mat. Pivot the lower part of the left leg out to the side and roll onto your left hand. So your right hand is extending all the way to the front of the room. Your right toes are extending all the way to the bottom of the mat. And once again, we're just going to take those slow, deep inhales, directing them to the right rib cage. Noticing the whole right side body just expand with every inhale breath. Really deepen the stretch from the shoulders right down to the hip. Gorgeous deep stretch. Floating the right foot off the mat. Extending those toes towards the back of the room. And then we're going to draw the right knee to the right elbow and have a little crunch there. Take the gaze down to the left hand, pivot round on that left knee and place the right foot at the top of the mat. So we're coming into our lunge once again. So runner's lunge, place the hands on that front knee, relax the shoulders and then sink nice and deep into your lunge. So working into the hip and groin area once again. So this is a really good little stretch for any runners or cyclists out there. You can feel the stretch right the way into that left quad. Then bringing the hands down to the mat. We're going to shift the hips back to that left foot, right towards the take a forward fold. Taking an inhale, we're going to rock forward, sweep the hands up. Exhale, sweep it back. Option to keep the hands off the mat. Inhale, rock it forward. Exhale, sweep it back. Inhale, rock it forward. Exhale, sweep it back. Bringing the hands down to the mat, walking them forward. Curl under the back toe, lift the back knee, and heel toe that right foot out to the outside edge of the mat. Drop down the back knee, uncurl the toes, and come into lizard pose. So your version of lizard, you're welcome to stay up on the hands or come down to the forearms. You can use your bricks underneath your forearms if you want to do. And just introduce a little rock from left to right. Bringing the hands down to the mat, curling under the back toes, lifting the back knee. This time what we're going to do is weight into the hands and that right foot and step the left foot to the outside edge of the left hand. Drop the hips down, come into your malasana squat. Now ideally with your malasana, you're going to have your feet flat on the mat. If they're not, don't worry, don't beat yourself up about it. Try stepping the feet slightly wider so it gives the hips a little bit more space. But if you're still not there, who cares? It's not going on your CV. We don't really worry about it. You're just going to have to practice the pose in a slightly more tense position, really. So an active version, which is on the toes. Or you can have a little sneaky cheat and place a brick underneath your bottom. So you're still getting the same opening through the hips and it's still passive by doing it on a brick. Okay. Closing off the eyes if you wish to do. You can introduce that little sway from left to right once again. Then bringing the hands down to the mat, lift the sit bones, rotate the feet inwards and hang in your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, gazes forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweeping the hands all the way up to the ceiling. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, sweep the hands up. Whoops, hitting the plant there. Exhale, swan dive to the floor. Inhale, halfway lift, gaze is forward. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands, step the right foot to the bottom of the mat. Heel toe the left foot to the outside edge of the mat. Option for you here to stay in active lizard, which has the back knee off the mat, or passive by dropping that back knee down. So either variation, and come into lizard. Come as deep as you want to do. Good idea to keep the bricks on hand here because we're going to be doing lots of lizards. So if you need bricks just to support you in this, it's a good idea to keep them close by. Bringing the hands back up to the mat. Curl under the back toes, lift the back knee. Step that left foot back to meet the right foot and come through a vinyasa. So either dropping the knees down first, lowering the chest, or if you have chaturanga in your practice, coming through your chaturanga. Inhale, pushing up into cobra or upward dog. Exhale, pushing back. Take your downward dog. Holding for a few breaths in downward dog, encouraging the length through the back of the legs. Draw the tailbone up towards the ceiling and broaden through the collarbones. Taking the gaze to the top of the mat. Your next inhale breath, step the right foot to the outside edge of the right hand. Lizard pose, so either active or passive. You choose and come into it as deep as you want to do. So if you want to just stay up on your hands, that's absolutely fine. Maybe you add a micro bend to the elbows just to gently lower slightly into it. Or if you want to come all the way down, that's absolutely fine. Coming back up onto the hands, curl under the back toes, lift the back knee, and pushing forward once again. So placing your weight in your hands and that right foot, step the left foot to the outside edge of the left hand, dropping into Malasana squat. Bring the hands down to the mat, lifting the sit bones, rotate the feet inwards. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweeping the hands all the way up to the ceiling. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, sweep the hands up. Exhale, swan dive to the floor. Inhale, halfway lift, gazes forward. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, step the right foot to the bottom of the mat. Heel toe that left foot to the outside edge of the mat. This time we're going to stay in active. So keep that back leg off the mat, the back knee, sorry. You can lower into it still as deep as you would if you want to do. So you may be able to come down to the forearms or use your brick or block, but we're keeping that back leg off the mat this time. And you can introduce the little rock back and forth. Coming back up onto the hands, we're going to step the left foot back to meet the right foot and come through a vinyasa. So either knees, chest, chin, or taking your chaturanga. Inhaling, pushing up into cobra or upward dog. Exhale, push back, take your downward dog. Finding stillness in your downward dog. Encouraging the heels down to the mat, tailbone turned up towards the ceiling. Draw the belly button back to the spine. And broaden through the collarbones. Taking the gaze to the top of the mat. On your next inhale breath, step the right foot to the outside edge of the right hand. So keeping our lizard variation active this time. So keeping that back knee off the mat. Obviously, if you need to drop the back knee down, that's absolutely fine. But just coming into lizard, how you want to do for your body. So if you want to stay up on the hands, that's fine. I think the hands, we're going to step the left foot to the outside edge of the left hand. Hips, come into that Malasana squat once again. Close off the eyes if you need to do. We're taking the hands to prayer position at heart center, and we've got the knees pushing out to the sides with the elbows, grounding down through both the feet. Bring the hands down to the mat, lift the sit bones up, rotate the feet back inwards. Inhale, find your half. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the hands all the way up to the ceiling. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, sweep the hands up. Exhale, swan dive to the floor. Inhale. Exhale, fold, plant hands, step the right foot to the top of the mat. Heel toe the left foot out to the outside edge. So we're going to keep our active to a little bit called flying lizard. So what we're going to do is bend our elbows ever so slightly and take the left arm underneath that left leg. So your left hand now comes down to the floor on the outside of the left leg. Taking that little rock from left to right, just find your centre of balance or your centre of gravity, which will be shifted now slightly further to the left. And what I want you to do is, once you've found your balance, see if you can take both the hands off the mat. So breathe into the pose. Slow, deep inhales, lengthened exhales. Few more seconds. Then bringing the hands down to the mat. Step the left foot back to meet the right foot. Oh, crikey. Come through your vinyasa. So either knees, chest, chin, or taking your chaturanga. Inhaling, pushing up into cobra or upward dog. Exhale, push back, take your downward dog. Finding that length through the back of the legs. Turning the tailbone up towards the ceiling. Belly button draws back to the spine. Taking the gaze to the top of the mat. Your next inhale breath, step your right foot to the outside edge of the right hand. So, active lizard once again, the back knee stays off the mat. And we're going to come through that flying lizard variation, so bend through the elbows. Take the right elbow underneath the right leg and place the hand on the outside of that right foot. And then just shift your weight slightly further to the right to find your centre of gravity. And we're just going to fly the right hand and the left hand off the mat. Breathe into it. Slow, deep inhales. Lengthened exhale. Just a few more seconds. Hold. Hands down to the mat. Now this is where it gets tricky. We've got to step the left foot to the outside edge of the left hand, and after doing that active hurts, so apologies, but here we go. Step the left foot. Oh gosh, drop the hips down. Whew. Come into your lovely squat. From here, we are going to bring our hands down to the mat. We're going to walk them behind us. And we're literally going to pull our arms down. So what I'd like you to do is extend the legs out in front of you. Just give the legs a little tap out and a good old hip opener there. Very strength-based within the adductors, the quads and the glutes there. So find length through the legs. Take a bend to the right leg and cross that right leg over the far side of the left. Now, you've got a couple of options here. We're going to come onto an internal rotation of the hip just to stretch into the hips and the glutes there. So if you are happy to stay in this position as variation 1, that is fine. Bring the right hand down to the mat behind you. Inhale, sweep the left arm up. And then as we exhale, bring the left elbow to the far side of the right knee and take a twist. So you're pulling that right knee over to the left with your elbow. So you start to feel the stretch in the right hip there. If you want to come into the full cow face position, we're going to tuck the right foot towards the left hip, and then shifting your weight into the left hip so that you can tuck that right foot, the left foot to the right hip. Very complicated with the lefts and rights. I'm just spinning round so that you can see me. So you should have both of your knees stacked on top of each other. Take an inhale, sweep the hands up. We're going to drop that behind the back. A minute. Bit trapped. So pushing that left elbow down the back. From here then, I'm going to sweep the right arm sides, take it behind you and interlace the fingers behind the back. Just trying to reach the fingers. If you can't reach the fingers here, first suggestion is push the elbow further down and extend that right arm even further out to the side. Try once again to reach. If you're still nowhere near, just take hold of your top behind you and hold the hands in place, okay? We're then going to just relax the shoulders, relax the head. You can close off the eyes and relax the hips. So all of those muscles in the deep hips, in the glutes, the quads, all of that, just relax. You can close off the eyes if you want to do. And loosening the grip of the fingertips, extend the arms out to the sides and just give a little shoulder roll, and then reverse the shoulder roll. Bringing the hands down to the ground in front of you. I'd like you to walk your hands to the left. And then once you've got them to the left, you'll have to come up onto the feet, so keep on walking behind you. And what you'll do is you'll spin around and your legs will have switched sides. So you now have the left leg on top. Okay, so just adjust into the position. So try to stack the knees on top of each other. Mine don't actually stack exactly on top of each other, so don't beat yourself up if they don't. Take an inhale, sweep the hands up. And then this time we're going to drop the right elbow behind. So with your left hand pushing on that right elbow behind you. Extend the left arm all the way around to the side and behind and interlace the fingers. If you can't reach the fingers, try again. Push that right elbow behind. Extend the left arm further around. And if you still can't reach, it's fine. Just grab hold of your top. Then we're just going to relax the shoulders, wiggle the head, the neck around, make sure nothing's locking out, and relax. Relax the glutes, relax the quads. All of the hip muscles, the leg muscles, just relax. And loosening the grip of the fingers. Extend the arms out to the sides. Take that lovely shoulder roll. And reverse the shoulder roll. And then bring the hands down to the mat. Take them behind you. And just, release the legs. Whoa. Give the legs a little tap out, a little shake out there. We're then just going to come to a close of the practice today. So crossing the legs in front of you, sitting tall through the spine. Just close off the eyes for a few moments. Hands can be placed on the knees. Relax the forehead. Relax the eyes. Relax the jaw by allowing the teeth to part slightly. Relax the shoulders. taking the hands to prayer position, fluttering open the eyes, bowing the head. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me once again for a 30-minute Vinyasa practice. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm sure you're going to feel that tomorrow, but you'll thank me the day after, I promise you. As usual, give me some feedback, let me know how you're getting on. You can message each other on the Facebook group, or if there's anything that you'd like to know about, please just let me know. You can email me or you can direct message me on social media, whatever you want. Okay. Lots of love. Thanks for turning up and gifting yourself this time to breathe. And I'll see you again. Bye.